on, everybody out there? This is Popular Stranger, and we are back at you again today with another Madden 23 Ultimate Team video. In today's video, we're going to be going over the best free safeties to use right now in MUT 23, and also the best abilities for them. Now, if you guys enjoy this video, if you like it, if it helps you out, make sure you go ahead and click that thumbs up button. Shows a lot of support on the channel, helps the videos get noticed. Also, if you're brand new here, you were searching around YouTube for MUT 23 content, whether it's how to make coins, how to get free players, how to build your ultimate team, you found the right channel for everything. Stay a while, click that subscribe button, turn that notification bell on as well so you guys are alerted when we drop additional videos. Let's get right on into it. We're going to start with the best abilities that you can use on your free safeties right now. We'll get into our top 5 players and some budget options. Now, you can also use these abilities on your strong safeties. It's going to go for all safeties in general, and I think one of the better abilities, and this isn't in any specific order, but one of the better abilities for safeties is going to be deep out zone KO. So this ability is basically going to give you more catch knockouts, which forces incompletions, and better, quicker reactions against passes for players that are in zone coverage, 20 plus yards from the line of scrimmage and outside the hash mark. So in general, and for the most part, your safeties by default are usually playing, deep blue zones that kind of cover the corners of the field, if you will. And a lot of people in the game like to throw corner routes and passes outside the hash marks. So this on a safety who plays up top in your defense is usually going to work very well. And you always want to look for players that get these things at a discounted ability. So when you look at a Micah High and a Thomas Davis Sr., who are definitely going to be players in our top 5, they get it for 1 AP. This is mut.gg/abilities, by the way, if you're looking for it. There is also an alternate to deep out zone KO. It's deep in zone KO. Works the same. Safeties in zone coverage inside the numbers instead of outside, and 20 plus yards from the line of scrimmage. So if your defense, works towards that, or you find that more people are throwing in the middle of the field on you versus the outside, you can take a look at deep in zone KO. And then you also have mid zone KO, which is going to work pretty much the same way. Defenders with this ability are going to force more catch knockouts and react quicker, basically between 10 and 20 yards when they are in a zone. So this one isn't specific from being inside or outside the line of scrimmage, or I should say the hash marks. It's going to work all over the place. So if you play a heavy zone scheme and you get tore up by like kind of the mid-range game, this is one not only you might want to look at for your safeties, but also cornerbacks. And you can see Micah High, Kyle Duggar, who's a strong safety, but you can see some of the safeties who are going to get that at a discount and get it for 1 AP. Now, if you play of a more heavy man scheme, and that's what I do, a lot of man coverage versus zone, you're going to want to look at deep route KO. Defenders with this ability are going to force more catch knockouts in man-to-man coverage, and this is going to be 20 plus yards from the line of scrimmage. The hash marks don't matter on this one, so it's pretty much any type of man coverage route. And you can also use mid route KO, which is going to be from 10 to 20 yards. You might not find your safeties playing kind of that length from the line of scrimmage often, but you can also put free safeties as your sub linebackers, and in that situation they're going to be closer to the line of scrimmage. So a lot of times if they're either in man or even in zone, you're going to find that 10 to 20 yard gap where the mid zone and mid route KO works a lot better than the deeps. Pick Artist is not just one of the best abilities for safeties, in my opinion, one of the best abilities in the game. So defenders with this ability are going to have a higher chance to catch uncontested interceptions. But if you've used this or you start to use it, you're going to see that it lights up uncontested interceptions and interception attempts as well. Highly recommended here on your defensive backs, whether it's safeties or corners. And we're at the point now in this year where there's so many players that get it for 0 AP. You kind of want to target those players. So free safeties specifically, we got the Ghost Julius Peppers is on this list. Another one is going to be Steve Atwater, who's a great budget option. We'll talk about that in a moment. So Pick Artist, very good. You also have Tip Drill out there, but if it's between getting Tip Drill for 1 AP and Pick Artist for 1 AP, I'm always going to lean towards the side of Pick Artist, and I would recommend you do the same. Acrobat is very good and always will be good as far as the ability goes. The big problem is, for the most part this year, it's been very expensive. We're starting to see a lot of players get this at a discount. We're going to talk about one in a moment. At this point right now, we don't have any free safeties that get it for a cheap enough discount to where I would recommend using it, but Bo Jackson, Troy Polamalu are 2 strong safeties that can get it for 1 AP. Defenders with this ability are going to die for an increased range on pass breakups and interceptions, and that's going to hold true whether it's for a user or the CPU controlling the player. So as we see more players get Acrobat at a discount, it's going to become more popular, and I would recommend it. Now, the final ability we're going to talk about here on safeties is going to be Film Study, and this one's big. Defenders with this ability will have full vision of plays the the offense has previously ran at least 3 times. So if you're on defense and your opponent runs the same play 3 times in the game, and it doesn't have to be in a row, you can basically see via Coach Cam, which is holding down R2 on your PlayStation controller, or right trigger on Xbox, you can see the exact play that they are running. And this one is huge because it's a super OP ability, and as you can see here, there's only 2 players in the entire game right now that can get it. Micah High, and it's going to cost like 3, 4, or 5, I think it's 5 AP in total. So Micah High gets it, and also Jair Alexander. So it's very expensive, would never recommend using it, but just announced today is going to be a Season 3 reward, and this is going to be at level 41, a 96 overall Ed Reed. So at the time that I'm making this video, which is January 11th, this card is not out, but tomorrow, January 12th and beyond, grinding your Season 3 Field Pass can earn you this 96 overall Ed Reed, and he's without a doubt the best free safety in the game, and you can get him for free with 96 speed, 98 zone coverage, 96 man. Not only are his attributes great, but he's going to get Pick Artist for 0 AP, Acrobat for 1 AP, and we just discussed Film Study and how OP that is. He's going to get Film Study for 2 AP. So this, without a doubt, like I said, #1 free safety in the game, and being able to earn him for free is huge, but it is going to take a little while to get him unlocked for everybody. Let's talk about some budget free safeties. These are cards under 200,000 coins. We mentioned him earlier, Steve Atwater, his 94 overall All Madden card, 6'3". We're always looking for height and speed with our safeties here, and man and zone coverage being 90 plus. He's not going to give you the man coverage. It's only 86, not terrible, but also not great. Zone coverage at 94 is good. Hit power at 95, he gives you the 94 speed. And as we mentioned earlier with the abilities, he's one of those few free safeties that can get Pick Artist for 0 AP, only going for about 170k on the auction house right now. Pretty good budget option for you. So coming in at number 5 on our list is going to be free safety Sean Taylor. This is his Zero Chill 95 overall card. He actually would make our budget list too, because he's going to be under 200k. 6'2" with 94 speed, pretty similar to Steve Atwater there. The man coverage is a bit better at 89. He also gives you 95 zone, 97 hit power, tackle at 90, play rec at 90, acceleration at 94. He does make for a pretty good user as well with the height and the speed, and if you guys were unaware, free safeties can now be set up as sub linebackers on your specialist screen, and like I said, he's a pretty good option to do so. When the abilities come into play here, he's got deep in zone KO for 1 AP. Remember, I recommend deep out zone KO for 1 AP, which he can also get in the second to last ability bucket, but you would either have to choose that or Pick Artist, but he can get Pick Artist for 1 AP also. Pricing wise, really cheap. You can see here 184,000 coins on Xbox, down about 5%, a little bit over 200k on PlayStation and PC, sitting at 209 and then 205. But I think for those prices, extremely cheap for one of the top 5 players at this position in the game right now. I didn't fully realize how many good free safeties were in the game until I sat down to do this list, and at number 4 we got Ronnie Lott, which is a fairly new card, 95 overall legend, 6 foot even with 95 speed, so he's faster than the other cards that we've seen so far. 97 hit power, 94 zone, 90 man coverage. Again, we're looking for those guys that can get zone and man at 90 plus, so whatever scheme you tend to run, they can work out for both, or if you like to mix it up, it's going to help you out there. 89 tackle, 90 play rec, 92 pursuit. I like this card a lot, but being that he is a legend, if you want to power him up and get discounted abilities, and the ones that he can get are like the deep out zone KO, you have to spend more coin, and that makes it more expensive. And when I break down these top 5 cards, we factor in price as well. So yes, this is a good card if you look at the attributes, but he costs a lot more than some of these other cards, and you got to spend even more coin to get those discounted abilities. That's why he's going to rank in at number 4 on the list. 330k on Xbox, pretty much the same on PlayStation, and a little bit more expensive on PC at 398k. Good card, just costs a little bit more than I would want to spend. And for that same pricing reason, this is why Micah High Team of the Week card that just came out yesterday is going to land at number 3 on our list. From a strictly attribute standpoint, extremely good. Probably number 1. 95 speed, 6 foot even, just like Ronnie Lott. 91 hit power, 96 zone, the highest zone in the game for any free safety, not named Ed Reed, of course. He also gives you 93 man coverage, 93 pursuit, 95 play rec. Just all in all, a really good card. Let's take a look at the abilities before we talk pricing. In that last ability bucket, he can either get mid zone KO or flat zone KO. I'd probably recommend mid there. And then in the second to last bucket, you do have to make a decision between deep out zone KO and pick artist. He also gets tip drill for 0 AP in that second to last slot. So really good abilities, obviously really good attributes. The biggest problem here and why he's number 3 and not number 1 is because he's almost 600,000 coins. 586 on Xbox, 584 on PlayStation, 661K on PC, just overpriced right now. Coming in at number 2, we have Campus Heroes 2, Thomas Davis Sr., 96 overall card, only about a week old, 6'1" free safety with 94 speed, so we are taking a step back in speed, but this card is so cheap, we got to put him at number 2. 97 hit power, another 96 zone coverage, free safety here, 90 man, 94 pursuit, 91 play rec, 91 tackle, 97 acceleration. I have this card on my no money spent squad and my main team, and he's made a lot of plays for me since we picked him up. Now, abilities, they kind of wasted the double or nothing here. That's pointless to put on a free safety, but in that second to last slot, he's going to get pick artist for 1 AP or deep in zone KO for 1 AP. I would go pick artist here, and then if you want to add deep out zone KO for 1 AP in that last slot for his abilities, 2 AP for both of them, pretty good. This is a very, very good card. Like I said, makes a lot of plays. In pricing, if you've been playing the game over the last week with this market crash and these Campus Hero 96s in general, 261K, 277K on PlayStation, 261 on Xbox, and 285K on PC. Extremely cheap. They didn't announce a TVP just yet, but if one happens to come out tomorrow, I could see this card going up in price because right now a lot of people are buying 96s for cheap training. So if you were going to be buying this card, you might want to do it sooner than later. Number 1 on our list for the best free safeties is going to be 95 overall Ghost Julius Peppers. And listen, I won't argue with you if you want to make a case for Micah High or Thomas Davis Sr. being number 1 on this list, but when we look at a free safety who's 6'7" with 94 speed, how can you leave him off? When we talk about pricing, abilities, and attributes, he's number 1 in my book here. 94 hit power as well, 96 zone, so I guess I was wrong about that once again here. A lot of 96 zone guys. 91 man coverage, pursues at 94. Now, he does have play rec and agility at 87, and I want to tell a quick story about this card. I run a dollar defense a lot, and when I first got this card, basically I have like 2 safeties that play sub linebacker and 2 safeties that play at the top of the field. I started him out at the top. Being that he was 6'7", I figured he would be great against like Harold Carmichael and all of these other taller wide receivers. He would neutralize them. He just wasn't making plays. He wasn't really getting beat a lot, but he didn't feel like he was on the field at all. He never made an impact. I moved him down into that sub linebacker position. Sometimes I user control him. A lot of times I let the AI control him, and he's made so many plays since I've done that. So if you can get him as a sub linebacker or a user, that's what I would recommend doing with this card. Now, we talked about his abilities. He gets deep out zone KO in that last bucket for 1 AP, extremely good there. And then in the second to last bucket, you get pick artist for free, or if you want to play him in man coverage a lot, 1 AP for deep route KO. I would recommend pick artist for 0 AP and deep out zone KO for 1 AP, a total of 1 for both of those abilities. That combination, really, really good. But all in all, this is a fantastic card that makes a lot of plays for me. And he's extremely cheap, 291K on Xbox, 284K on PlayStation, and 320K on PC. Pretty much right around the prices for Thomas Davis Sr. there, and I think he gets a slight edge because of the height and the better abilities. And there you have it. Those are our best free safeties in the game, the abilities that you should be using, and it's time tomorrow, and if you're watching this video after today, to grind for that Ed Reed, because he's going to be number 1 on the list once you can earn him. Thank you for watching. My name is Popular Stranger. I'm out. Peace.